Guys, it's Oscar. I'm coming at you with my sort of review, more of a thoughts sharing of the new, well, it's taken apart right now, the new Starling single-edged razor from Phoenix. Now, just came out. Douglas brought it to Big Shave West last April in Pasadena. Since then, a lot of anticipation coming. He brought it to Big Shave West in April. He brought it to Riverside in July. Those are the times that I saw it. That's when the buzz started coming, and I know he's taking it to other meetups around the country, and letting people get a sneak peek. Now it finally came out. If you haven't gotten one, then maybe you're just standing by to get feedback from other people, some people you know, some people you trust. Maybe I'll help you make your decision one way or the other. If you have tried it, then you know. Now, one thing that got me was there was a comment made, and I know who it was, and if you saw it, you know who it was. Oh, it looks like the Starling isn't getting much love. Well, if you haven't used it, shut up. If you've used it and you don't like it, great, share your opinion. If people you know and trust have used it and they don't like it, then yeah. But use it yourself or get feedback from somebody you trust and somebody you believe, and then make a decision, make your critiques. But I wanted to get it. I was anxious for it. I want to expand my horizons because I've been strictly a DE guy. I've delved into the single edges. I have the aluminum Razor Rock Hawk and I have the one blade core, but I've never had a gem style razor. So I was anxious to use this one, and I was happy to support Douglas and Fran. So Douglas wanted feedback from the plates. Now, as you may know, it comes with two plates. It comes with the A plate, which is a less aggressive, and it comes with the B plate, the beta plate. And he says, okay, on that comment kind of criticizing, somebody had said, oh, I really got a few nicks and cuts because of this, because of that. Well, in the description for the razor on the website, in bold and underlined, it says there is a learning curve because of the angle of the head, because of this, because of that. There's a learning curve, especially if you've never used a gem style razor, which is me. And you can't go in blind. Just because you're good with one razor doesn't mean you're going to be a master with a different one. Everything has some kind of learning curve. Even if you're a master with like the Mula R41 and then you break out the Edwin Jagger, there's still going to be some adjustment because it's different. It may not be worse, it may not be harder to use, it's going to be different. So you gotta just take your time with it, and that's what I did. Douglas even sent me a private message, and because he knows I'm a big fan of the double open comb, and he knows I'm a big fan of the lesser aggressive razors, and he said, polar opposite, be careful. And you know, I had no problems. I've shaved with both plates, not one nick, not one little speck of blood. Why? Because I paid attention. You gotta pay it to zero pressure, different angle from every other razor I've used. It's a different angle, different everything. You gotta go slow. So both shaves, I used the A plate the other day on 3 days growth, and today I used the B plate again on 3 days growth. I try to keep the variables the same so that I can compare. Both times use the new oubliette. Fantastic. If you took away all my soaps and left me with like one or two, this would be there. This would definitely be there. And I also used the same brush. I went full Phoenix. I used the Atomic Rocket. Both shaves, I wanted to keep all the variables the same. The only difference was the plate. Okay? Same blade. I stropped it and everything. So, only difference was the plate. Now, out of the package, right away you feel a difference. There's a difference. The A plate is thinner. The B plate is thicker. Okay? To me, right away that suggested, and we already knew the B was going to be more aggressive, but because it felt thicker, so to me, that suggested more blade gap. When the blade is sitting on the deck, so to speak, and it's being held in place by the notches, you can tell, and I trying to attach pictures somehow. With YouTube new editing, I'm not able to attach pictures to the slideshows to the beginning of my videos like I was before. So I'll attach them somehow, but you can tell the different, I took pictures, so you can tell the difference between the blade gap when the blade is sitting on the deck the space between the blade and the bottom of the base plate. You can tell more space there than there is, whoops, huh, than there is there. Than there is there. Now, blade gap, to me, blade gap is kind of skeptical. It's kind of subjective because, like, I have the timeless bronze blade gap is 0.36, I believe. 0.36 you expect it to be very mild, but it's not. It's not. It's very efficient. And then the Rockwells, you have different blade gaps, and so it's a number. It's just a matter of how you adjust and whatnot. So right away, getting back to this, blade gap doesn't mean a whole lot to me. It's just a matter of how much blade exposure and whatnot. So the plates are different. There's a much more thickness to the B than to the A. So again, that suggested more blade gap, more aggression, and the stiffness of the blade is much more pronounced than versus a regular double-edged blade. So I knew that was coming, and again, I paid attention. I went slow, zero pressure, mind the angle because it's not as maneuverable as some of the other the DEs, because the way the head sits on the handle and sticks out kind of. And I've never used any other gem style blades or any other gem style razor, so it really sits out. So you really need to, pay attention to, the angle is going to be much more. You're really gonna have to stick to it more. Now, this isn't as wide as, let's say, the Razor Rock Hawk. The Razor Rock Hawk is, maybe this wide. So this is a little more maneuverable than that, but yet it kind of sticks out this way more away from the handle than the Hawk does. So it's just different factors and variables you need to be aware of. Now, the lightness might take some getting used to, but it's still very sturdy. It's a aviation grade aluminum. I believe he called it 7075, 7071, 7075 aluminum. So it's very sturdy. It's hard. You can tell that if you could drop it, it's not going to get damaged. If you want, I didn't experiment with any handles. Some people have used heavier handles and stuff, and that's an option as well, if it just helps you be more comfortable. But if you apply zero pressure and just let it do the work and pay attention and be careful, this is awesome. I had zero weepers, zero bleeders with either of the shave. And what really surprised me, that where I really kind of the cream rises to the top in this aspect for me, is after I do those first couple passes and have rough spots, if I'm able to get back in there and kind of buff. If I'm able to, right here, buff. Buff. A lot of more aggressive razors, I cannot do that with. But with this, with the less aggressive plate, and today with the beta plate, the more aggressive one, I was able to, you take a little cream off the brush, kind of, and then, got a buff. I was able to do that with both, zero bleeders. So, if you are stuck with this razor with both plates, you'd be good. You'd be good, because for me, the A would be my daily driver, because I have sensitive skin. I shave basically every 2 days is the most frequently I shave. The A plate would be perfect for that. If you go 4, 5, 6 days with growth, you give yourself a break, I'll be able to use this one without any problem. So now I'm not getting into a lot of technical terms. I'm not getting into a lot of technical lingo with everything, with terminology and whatnot. This is just impressions. Loved it. I love the feel. It's light, so it took a little getting used to. Learning curve. If you've never used a single edge, dude, be careful. Like I said, Douglas even warned me, and I listened. If you went to town on your face and you butchered yourself up, it's nobody's fault but your own. Sorry. This thing is friendly. It's user friendly if you pay attention. Both plates. Now, he wanted feedback on the beta plate, and because Douglas might come up with more options. He might do, for example, an open comb. I heard there's different color options, different aggressiveness options, but this right out the gate, well done. Loved it, and I will be holding on to it. Somebody asked if it was worth the money. Yes, yes. Look into it. Look into it, and you won't. If you do regret it, hey, sorry, it wasn't for you. But I'm very happy with this purchase. So that's my impressions on the Starling from Phoenix. Hope this helped. Everybody be well.